Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, your favorite leftist gaming podcast. I'm your host, Ben, and with me, as always, are my co hosts.
I'm Mike.
Going on? It's Matt.
Hello, it's Andrew.
What's up, guys? How has your gaming week been?
0 to none gaming. I tried playing a little bit of
RIP
Pokemon.
to the lad. Having
Yeah.
real world stuff, butting in. That's we
Yeah,
hate
and
to see it.
And I was trying to play Pokemon on my Switch as I fell night last night, and it was
Drop
dead.
switch on your face.
Yeah.
No, it was just dead, and the charger wasn't close by, so I went from like the 20% till I got the low battery warning 2 minutes into my gaming and went to bed. So
Sad. You hate to see
starting
it.
off with a
RIP.
sad story.
Real nighttime gaming is about holding the Steam Deck over your head and
That's
then
wow. That's playing with
waking
fire.
up to it crushing your septum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a chunky boy.
Yeah, that's
No,
yeah,
I
you're
would
playing
never
with fire.
play overhead in bed with that thing. I always play on my side and slowly feel my left arm go to sleep.
Yeah, just
Particularly with all
That's
the
the worst
money
part.
you just spent on new glasses. That's a recipe for cracked frames. Just
I actually don't play with glasses in bed because my close vision is good enough that I can get away with it.
you're just melting
I'm
your brain
surprised.
in your corneas.
Yeah.
Having it
'cause-
literally 3 inches away from your face.
No, I can see the screen
Sure.
from about here.
Sure.
You may have at least in one eye worse vision than me, but like my actual near versus far I think is worse because I can literally only see clearly that
Now the rain is
listeners.
gone.
I'm
Like if I was
literally
trying to read
3
a
inches
book,
away
it
from
would
my
have to
face.
be up here. But like just to like see a screen and like
No, it's
button
just
mash
shapes
through some combat.
It's just shapes to me. Further away from that, it's just all shapes and lines. But yeah, I have like been taking every opportunity I can, whether in stream, in somebody else's stream, and all the gaming discords I'm a part of. So of course I'm going to take the opportunity here on pod to talk about and
Redacted.
rave about how just absolutely taken and smitten I have become with Mario plus the new Mario plus Rabbids. It like pains me to say it, but I actually like some of the Rabbid characters. They are actually some of the what I'll put in scare quotes writing because it's not like there's like full voice acting or
How dare you.
narration like that type of stuff, but like
There is an entire role dedicated to rabid dialogue, sir.
there is just like you get like they've got like catchphrases and stuff, but Mike, you would love it just for Rabid Mario alone. He is Italian excellence at work.
Nice.
Rabid Luigi fucking sucks. He's shitty.
I've played him in the first game, and
He's got some like
dud.
good he's got some good gameplay purposes, but
Yeah.
in terms of the actual character, he's just a fucking nerd. He has no actual characterization whatsoever, but
I take offense to that, sir. Nerd power.
when I don't know, he's just like he's very bland. I guess wouldn't even call him a nerd. It's just very, very bland.
Dork.
Whereas Rabid Mario is more Italian than regular Mario. Like whenever he's about to take a hit, he's got several like catchphrases, but it's take it easy. Oh, you are on my list. Like he makes these like really these
channeling like
You're
1980s
Italian.
live action
You're-
Mario.
yeah.
You're Italian, went a little German there. I'm in my.
I was hearing more French, but
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm not folks at home will know I'm not great with accents.
well, we all know the truth is that Italians aren't real. They don't have an actual.
They're like birds.
They are made up by the government.
just like birds.
They were created to oppress a group of people from a country we don't know about.
But I was fairly optimistic that I was going to like it. I just have been so surprised with how much I'm enjoying it. The gameplay is unique enough in turn-based stuff. Like it's not like an explicit say like initiative based turn system where you've got a certain stat or whatever that's compared to all the enemies and your party that has your order like that. It is broken into like a hero and enemy phase. That's not necessarily unique, but then in your hero phase, what I find so freeing, and Mike, you've played a little bit of Kingdom Battle, so I don't know if this is similar. If it's similar, they expand upon it through the kind of freer radial movement versus grid-based movement. But like there's the fact that like you have the hero phase. It's not that you have to like each character has to go and do all their actions and then you move to the next one. You can hot swap in between each one, and it just leaves you open to so many creative avenues for tactical
that's in the
gameplay.
original.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that is a holdover, and
it's one of my favorite parts of it.
Yeah, because you can
really very dynamic,
and it's particularly with the how you're not locked into. It's how they lock in movement is like you have your free radial, distance, and you can move as far as you want and keep moving actively within it. You only stop moving once you take your main shoot or like attack action. And then
that might be different than
and then obviously you're locked into it whenever you end your turn, whenever like you end the hero phase. But so it's like you can move like they have the new team jump thing. That's very cool. Satisfying to do a team jump with Mario and then do a Goomba stomp as you come down to do extra damage. It's very
the
fun.
Jumping and like sliding, and that was like one of my favorite parts of the original.
Yeah, it's very dynamic. You have a lot of freedom to be creative because it's like you'll move around. Peach is hilarious. Peach is the tank. Peach is the team tank, which is just a great choice in my opinion. She's a tank with an absolute nuke of a weapon. She's got a gunbrella, basically. It's called something else, nice. But it's her umbrella. It's got a fucking big ass cannon on the top. And so
if anyone has played Smash, they know that it's almost impossible to fucking kill Peach.
Yeah, Peach mains are OP.
How many guns does Mario have?
He's got his dual pistols. He's got dual pistols that he's a true gunslinger in this one. But there are there's I've been impressed with how each different character has a unique play set and build potentials and have different uses. And so when you're taking in what the mission objective is, you're going to be it really encourages swapping. You're not just sticking with the same, and in this case it's 3 party members the whole game. You're really encouraged to swap characters out, experiment, use different things. Then you have the further customization with the spark mechanic things that give you things like elemental attacks or extra buffs or different stuff like that, and it's really fun. But so it's like Peach, you'll move her around, do her like special ability aura where she makes everybody invincible for a couple hits. Then you move her up, she fucking nukes some people with her big ass gun, and it's very creative, and I've found myself enjoying it a lot. I'm like 8 or almost 10 hours in, and I like just got to the second world. The only reason I haven't 100% I didn't 100% the first planet in terms of quests. I had one side quest that like you cannot complete in the first planet because you have to have a certain number of sparks to unlock it, and you can't get that many on the first planet, so you're encouraged to come back. There's these other things that based on other abilities you get, like we saw in the trailers, like the scanning thing. I don't have that yet either. That's locked, so I can't do those things yet. But like I've just been really enjoying and just trying to get as much content out of it as possible. And I just did not expect to like it this much. I am a big turn-based fan. We know this at this point, but I have just been constantly surprised how much I'm enjoying it, even with some of the reported technological struggles that the Switch is experiencing with it. It chugs a little bit at times. There's some pop in here and there. So some frame drops, but it's still really fun. I enjoy it a lot.
8-year-old CPU on a 5-year-old hardware.
it's a trooper. It's a real trooper. But yeah, it can't compete with the current gen stuff, and kind of like
I mean, from just a side point here, like I don't think people understand how large a Switch would have to be on par with a PS5.
right. Yeah, you'd have to do something like where you sacrifice fidelity and stuff in handheld mode, and then you can like get it beefed up by when you dock it.
You would basically need to have an external GPU dock that you would plug it into to get like more beef out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So like you'd be sacrificing something along the lines of most likely battery life.
Sure.
Because that's the thing that makes the thing thick with 3 C's.
Yeah, real chunky. But yeah, the current console market, that's a decent enough transition into our first thing today. We've got some Sony exclusive news coming along, but before that, Mike was pointing out before we started recording that we're seeing more and more consoles, more and more PS5s in the wild. We're seeing Amazon is doing some weird thing with now opening it up to like their reservation style thing. They, like many other places, would have limited drops. Like you have, like they would announce things here and there, and you'd have to like wait into a queue. But now it's like it was like what Sony was doing themselves a while back. Doing you put your name up for to hopefully get a slot, and they will email you if you're one of the lucky few. But Matt, you said
if you got the
you've
golden
seen
ticket.
some ones
I'm still mad about that fucking program. I was a loyal subscriber to every PlayStation service for like over years, and I still don't think I've ever gotten an email to fucking buy one through them. Those pieces of shit.
Yeah, did you have a PS Vita TV?
Okay, no, I didn't have that, but
do you have a PS Vita?
That's the real
Sony pony, huh?
Yeah, only PS Vita owners actually, like that was in the fine print. You had to have had a PS Vita.
You had to be a Sony sicko.
Yeah, in order
you had to have at least
100
hours on a PS Vita account.
Otherwise, your name just went right into the shredder.
Just bloop.
But yeah, you were saying I've seen PS5s out in the wild at Walmarts, and I've seen on the internet that I'm not the only one who has seen PS5s in Walmarts out in the wild. Like they're stocking up for a
nature is healing.
Yeah, exactly. Stocking up for holidays.
Brandon's America is resurging. It's coming back. We're gonna have
gas has gone up 30 cents in a week.
We'd love to see it. But yeah, I still can't believe how lucky I was to get mine. I joined a queue totally not expecting it and totally not having the money to actually pay for it. But we scraped by. It's like, oh shit, it's happening.
Yeah. Shout out to the Waltons for getting me my PlayStation.
I was gonna say I just randomly joined a Best Buy.
Incapable of criticizing them
at the right time.
Exactly.
because they've allowed me to game. They're how they treat their employees, their massive hoarding of wealth.
It's all fine.
Yeah, completely cool with me now. I see nothing.
Once
wrong
something
here.
benefits me, it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this week in news was a little bit kind of all over the place. We had some general kind of story threads to follow, and we'll give it a shot. But the first kind of thing that was really approaching, and anybody who's remotely interested in gaming knows that imminently approaching, it'll be like less than a week from when this episode, or it'll be like a few days from when this episode airs. God of War Ragnarok is rapidly approaching. The release is coming. We're getting more and more insights into the game.
You hear the Viking drums in the background?
Yeah, I hear Valhalla calling me. The Valkyries are coming to take me away. The we're getting all sorts of stuff. More first impressions are starting to trickle out. I'm sure with how good everything is sounding, I'm sure the review embargo is soon to lift, and we'll actually be getting.
If I remember correctly, it lifts about a week early,
which is a great sign. You know, you never want to. You
I
never
mean,
want
that shows confidence.
Yeah, you never want it to be, you know, like a couple days before. That's bad news.
The day after.
I think we covered this on a recent Uncut Comrades stream. Folks, check us out live at Campaign Comrades on Twitch. But there was a series of unintentional leaks hitting the web of God of War Ragnarok. Some poor schlub, some poor journalist with a review code forgot to unlink their Twitter account to their PlayStation capture thing, because like whenever you hit achievements or whatever, it can automatically push those achievements to your Twitter account with screenshots and clips and all that. So it's just people like we're just melting down over all this shit hitting the web, which was interesting to me. That I'm surprised I didn't see any spoilers without even having to do any culling or like, you know, putting in, you know, like updating the banned words list and that kind of stuff, because all I was seeing was just people talking about the leaks. I didn't see anything about the leaks. I didn't actually see the any of the footage itself, so I remain
Sony Santa
untarnished.
Monica rolled the Men in Black out.
Yeah, they scrubbed that shit.
Yeah, I've been neuralized. But we have seen some really, like, everything that we're seeing is really, really good and really encouraging. You know, hearing a lot about, you know, technical advances that are being made possible.
I'm excited
thanks
for
to
Fat
PS5
Thor.
hardware. Yeah, anybody who is who complains about mythologically accurate Thor is a fucking idiot. I was like in some other Twitch, and I won't name names here.
It's the
but
MCU brainworms.
They were like, they were just like upset that like is like they were just, the reaching the copium was so strong. They're just like, oh, if he was mythologically accurate, he'd have like pectoral muscles or something. And it's like, have you not seen like the actual like say like strongman competitions and shit?
Yeah.
It's like all of them are just like huge, very large people with like they've got the power gut. You know,
I was gonna say, as someone who's played a sport with big, strong men at the collegiate level, like there's lots of those dudes who you look at, you're like, oh, he's just fucking enormous.
Yeah, and it's like he's the god of feasting and revelry and you know, all this stuff. So it's just, I don't know. It speaks to some ignorance into some, you know.
But he needs to look like Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, it's stupid.
But not from that one time when he was fat.
When they put him in a fat suit, yeah. R.I.P. It's, I don't know. It's stupid. I think he looks good. I think he looks menacing. I think it looks.
I mean, I think all the people who are like twisted about that are going to immediately become untwisted the second that Thor smacks Daddy around with the hammer.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like. I should be asking all these people, okay, so what exactly is your ideal you know, mythological representation of Thor?
Jane
you know,
Foster, come on, girl boss.
I've seen. I still have yet to punish myself enough to watch the new movie.
Don't do it.
But I have been forced to see some clips of her shit. I mean, it's not just her. Like the whole thing is bad, but like
the whole movie
recent one
terrible.
was a clip of her doing some, you know, power move, and it was like, taste my hammer, and it was just the cringiest shit I've ever seen. And it was just like, I mean, yes, sis, get that bag, I guess. Like
yeah, nothing on her.
Right, but fuck, it was so bad. I did punish myself.
I'm not that much of a pain pig.
Surprised Andrew hasn't seen Black Adam yet.
Oh, I'm ready to watch that. I can't wait for that.
Black Adams.
Yeah, he's here to save superhero movies. But yeah, I'm really. I mean, we'll get to this. Actually, no, we might as well talk about it now. Matt and I were having a conversation earlier in the week. It's like Matt was doing his monthly pre-orders of all this stuff, and it's just I'm here. I'm putting it down now. There are too many games. There are too many video games.
Slow the production cycle down.
Yeah, make less games so I can actually
Make them
play
better.
them. Yeah,
4 games a year.
Make them. Yeah,
one
make
per
me,
quarter.
Yeah, make me ache for them. Like I can't keep up with this shit. Like I'm
Monkey's
playing.
finger curls and the like world goes into like Holocaust.
Yeah,
Like
Okay.
nuclear Holocaust.
yeah. Be careful what we wish for, I guess. But like, I've got, let's see what I've got like on my radar. I've got so I'm currently playing Sparks of Hope. I want to play the new Plague Tale game. There's God of War. I want to play the Pentiment game when that drops. Like I still have like things I've recently purchased. Like I still want to play the Last of Us Part 1. I was thinking, oh yeah, I'll play that around Halloween time. Halloween, as of time of recording, is like 2 days or like a day or two away. So it's
You got time.
Okay, buddy. But it's just there are too many games. There are too many games coming out. Oh yeah, Tactics Ogre is one of the ones that you just purchased. That's on my list. There's the Crisis Core game coming out. There are too many games. Too many.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet
That one I can
coming
at
out
least wait for.
November 18th. I cannot. I'm so excited. I saw some of the gameplay footage. Ooh, doggy.
But
Is this an open world?
Yeah. It's like fully open world. And your little like motorcycle lizard.
Oh right, yes.
Yeah, they do. In Arceus, you had a different Pokemon that did different running,
traversal
climbing,
mechanics.
Yeah. This one does all of it.
Dope.
It glides, it jumps, it motorcycles.
It climbs.
Sounds like the
climbs
gamification of
mountains.
Pokemon to me. Sounds like you needed skill in multiple Pokemon to do something now that you get for free. Free.
I don't know. This may be one that gets me to play. It's been a long time since I've played a Pokemon. But it's I like.
You have not played a Pokemon.
I have not, but I've not played any of the.
You don't know the man. You don't know his life.
It's been a long time since it's like high school. It's like the last time I played a Pokemon game. But back to God of War quick. There's just lots of good stuff coming out. It's saying that it's made a lot of technical advances. That apparently it's going to be more brutal and violent than any previous game, which is like cool.
That's good because when I think of God of War, I don't think of brutal violence.
Yeah. I'm wondering how they can actually up the bar from that. So
I think of pacifism.
That
Your
would
TV
really
physically dies.
so that would really shake things up. But yeah, all the stuff, say the gameplay, the story are all being praised, as incredible improvements on the 2018 game. And the general consensus so far has been that the sequel is meeting expectations and then surpassing them. That, it is not only.
I saw like the biggest of baby brain takes that they were like, it looks the same as the old game. Like all the combat they've shown looks like it could have just been in the old game. Like this is like, it's a sequel. Like, do you want them to like change the entire formula for a sequel?
And half the shit they showed in the trailer were all new moves and shit. Like the traversal is different because you're not tied to, basically it's story wise, it's because Atreus is, basically big enough to do his own shit now. You don't need to be carrying him everywhere. You can be using the blades of chaos to like, there's like almost like a grapple mechanic.
Which is from the old games.
Yeah. So it's definitely different than 2018. The latest thing that we saw is that to do just a kind of a more casual playthrough is said to run you around 50 plus hours, and that one reviewer for, I think this was from IGN, was undertaking 100% run, was not finished and was already at 70.
Yeah, because they have to write their 100% guide before launch.
Yeah, and was doing
I feel bad for those people.
Yeah, it sucks because guides.
It's like I do that.
Guide writing
like
pays nothing.
Fun.
Yeah, and that shit pays nothing as well. All that guide stuff is not. It's like we've
It's
seen
like it
from
sounds
other
on paper like, oh, like I get to go to work and play games. Like that sounds super fun until you realize like your job is to play games on like a pace, but you need to do like everything. And
yeah, it's stressful. It's very stressful. But no, it's like we've seen from so many of these games media closure things that they're just, consolidating their own content into just basically putting out guides and stuff. And we hear from insiders that, that type of work is incredibly undervalued by the companies themselves. They pay people like shit for for that work. And it's also not viewed by their peers as being, actual journalism, because it's not really, but like
No journalism is actual journalism.
mhm.
Real journalism is in podcasting.
Yes,
real
that's why-
journalism is what we do, sitting on
Exactly.
my couch.
Here at Campaign Comrades.
but
Your
I know
favorite Lucas gaming channel.
I know we're all super excited for God of War. Like, I know I'm gonna be probably
excited.
doing my pre-order soon so I can pick it up day one. I hope to be able to try to start playing it soon thereafter. But again, I've got so many fucking games that are already in the works and have already been purchased. I can't, it's the,
Man,
the
I've been
parent picking their
trying to
favorite
perfect this
child,
for
right?
years. But if I can get Naruto's shadow clone technique down, so I can send one clone to work and then one here to play games on one TV and then one to play games on the monitor, we might be able to get something done.
Yeah.
When you perfect that, please let me know.
Yeah,
Teach
let
me
us
your
all know.
ways.
Yeah, you'll do us all a service.
One day we're just gonna open up Zoom here, and there's gonna be 4 windows open. There's gonna be 4 versions of me.
All with their different takes. All
Yeah.
gotta be different too. So while we're still on the Sony Pony Express here, there are rumors going around that Sony is courting a purchase of CD Projekt Red. Did you guys see that?
Interesting.
Indeed,
I
I
did
think I
not.
sent it.
That
Mm.
it,
I haven't been
I'm
up
kinda
on my
with this.
article game.
Article 1. Stay up to date.
there is speculation that that's why we just had that huge unveiling of all the different project announcements that CDPR is
Trying
doing,
to
like the
fluff their portfolio.
yeah the new Witcher games, the Cyberpunk sequel, all in hopes of bolstering their their damaged stock price for the eventual
I mean,
acquisition.
there is something intriguing, not to be a Sony pony here for a second, about the idea of Sony being in charge of the cyberpunk genre brand thing,
It does
and like
fit
what
their
they could
brand.
potentially do from a story perspective with that IP.
And in a strange turn of events, I do actually feel like Sony could probably run that place better than CD Projekt Red does. In the opposite of
I mean, they're just one of the
even worse than CD Projekt Red.
See, just
But
my hesitation is still just that they're one of the last kind of major independent studios out there that's putting out actual AAA content.
Yeah.
Not doing it necessarily well, but that doesn't mean that I think that it's a good thing that they would get.
We need to
gobbled
hit
up by
Point
Sony.
Horizon. Mecha Suda 5-1 already called it.
ideally some sort of like joint partnership would probably be ideal.
I mean, and
All I'm
Sony
saying
does
is,
that.
if it's
Sony
not
does
Sony,
that.
it's going to be Tencent.
Yeah. We talked about that last week. Tencent is just basically has no other choice currently. I mean, because again, even for Chinese corporations, demands infinite growth, and they're being curtailed at home, so they have nowhere else to go but foreign markets and foreign producers. So yeah, that's not unrealistic. There has been lots of other Witcher news though coming out. We had all those drops, all those announcements. We have a rumor and a seeming leak from a UK retailer that the release for the what was called next gen, now it's taken so long, current gen upgrade for Witcher 3, putting it at a December 9th release.
I'm excited for that.
Even though I know
saw that and I was like, oh, good. I've been waiting for the update to come out, for either PC or PS5. I haven't on both.
Yeah, so like, I know it'll impact and will update the PC version that I already own, but it kind of makes me want to double dip into the PS5 version to make sure I'm getting the full, any addition to the adaptive triggers and DualSense capabilities.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for. I love the DualSense.
And then they released that info that they're remaking The Witcher 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, good. Then I just won't play Witcher 3 and I'll just wait for The Witcher 1 remake first.
I hate you. And under that release, under that announcement that they're remaking the first Witcher, somebody was like asking them, like, when is the the next gen upgrade for Witcher 3 coming out? And they, had a cheeky response with like soon with a winky face emoji. So it it seems to be Matt's doing the ooh for me.
Yeah, like that's
finger point. So that's I think puts would seem
credence.
seem to suggest that there is lending credence to that it'll be December will be a holiday release. But yeah, the first Witcher is getting an Unreal Engine 5 remake. I did, however, just cop the free original copy on
GOG.
On GOG. Yeah. This
I
really
think I bought like The Witcher 1 and 2 for like $2 on a Steam sale at some point.
Yeah, this isn't
I'm pretty sure I have all of them as well.
This isn't particularly relevant to a conversation, but like we were talking a little bit about it. I'm a little bit surprised, Matt, that in some ways I think I can guess a little bit about your reasoning, why you're not why you don't maybe use GOG so much. I asked you about that when you posted this in the group chat. I'm a little surprised in the sense that they're supposedly the leaders in the, what's it called? It's like the DRM or something. I don't know what it stands for, but the whole thing about where when you buy a game, you own it, that it's not tied to the storefront. It's not tied to a launcher, any of that. It's basically when you buy it, you could, download it to a disc and it's yours forever. I know you've said that that's why you like Steam, is because they've made claims that's how they'll handle theirs. Is there something technical around it, or is it just your OCD that you like to have things in the one storefront?
I don't like to have multiple storefronts that I have to sort through.
I had a feeling that's what it was.
And I have a Steam Deck.
Same.
Like if I have a Steam Deck, I want to be able to play the game across platform.
Sure. However, I mean, we're not recommending that you do this or whatever, but there's plenty of things coming out that there are ways to get the Epic and the GOG storefront on a Steam.
Oh yeah. I mean, Steam Deck is a computer at face value. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it if you want to mess with Linux.
I didn't know if there was a technical, an actual, tech reason why you don't do it.
No, I just like to have all my shit in place.
Like the Origin, launcher, say that you're that's just malware.
Origin is malware.
True. That's true. Fuck that app.
But I wouldn't doubt if you dug through the code on Origin, if it was just spying on all the stuff on your computer and reporting back your personal information so they can tailor games to you specifically.
So I mean, the process to claim this game though was pretty easy. But yeah, that's the only reason I use I use Epic, is I'll get the free games. I'll do it because I totally understand.
I know plenty of people who are like, hey, Epic is giving them away. I'm not gonna not gonna turn my nose up at a game I was interested in and get it for free,
For
me? For free?
Yeah, I just got Fallout 3 for free on Epic. I have done one set. I did buy games once on Epic, and it was just the sale was just too good to pass up. It was I got 8 games for less than an average of $3 a game, and the only reason it was even that high was because this one does bug me. I bought Control and that one was like $20, but then now I could have now accessed it for free with cost of subscription on PS Plus. So that one annoyed me. That one annoyed me a little bit.
I have
Control's a cool game.
City Skylines on Epic launcher.
Yes.
I remember you streamed City Skylines once.
Yeah, a couple times. I enjoyed it. I like city planning.
You like those sim games, which there's a I gotta look into some more information about it. It's essentially roller coaster tycoon, but new. It's like
Nice.
just a whole theme park creator.
Okay, that was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have heard a lot. I mean, I loved Witcher 3. I have heard though so many things that like the first game is really good in terms of like its story and characters and plot, but like that it is very hard to play in its modern state. So
I
again,
mean, here's a fun fact about The Witcher 1 and 2. They are compatible on Mac.
wow.
There it is.
Huh.
If you look at their Steam page, they have the Apple logo there for compatibility.
Wild. For me, like that's probably not a good sign. But it's some interesting gameplay for I looked up some YouTube videos on what they play like, and it's interesting, we'll say that. But yeah, I mean
I'm sure that the remake is going to be just like Witcher 3 combat with Witcher 1 story.
Sure, but looking even better than Witcher 3 does.
No, I want it looking worse than Witcher 1 in Unreal 5.
I'm gonna
A true demake.
hell yeah. I am going to, I mean, like that's why I wouldn't have necessarily with this news, I would not have bought the first one, with you spend any real money on it. For the curiosity of being able to play some of it and probably not get through it, just to be able to compare, when the new one comes out. But I got it if I could get it for free, hell yeah, why not? I'll indulge my curiosity for free. There is more news happening. That was just kind of some scattered kind of stuff going on around. Now we do have some kind of steady stories to pull through or some threads to follow. Usual enemies of the pod, Activision, is going to act up and act in direct interest of their shareholders. There's a new labor complaint was filed after
this is the same woman who said, "How am I right wing as I fight unionization?" Right? It's the same woman.
And I forget she so her name is Lulu Chang Maservi. And she's the new chief communications officer, doing a great job communicating, by the way. Let's I mean in terms of the actual C-suite stuff, she's communicating exactly what they want her to.
Yeah.
So yeah, she like most of us be like, yeah, you're doing not the best job of having putting out a publicly friendly message. But that's not her job. That's actually not her job. She's there to communicate the desires of the of the board and its shareholders. But there has been now an official labor complaint filed with the NLRB after she posted in the company's Slack a message disparaging the union and all its organizers, basically. But
Slack's going to get a lot of people in trouble.
Oh yeah, there is some history with her as well. She I think was an Airbnb executive.
Yeah, I think you're correct. Then.
I think she was at Substack.
I think she's moved.
That's where
around
she came from
here. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's even worse.
We all know what Substack is all. That's just like, how can I be right wing? I have been working for the publication arm for all independent right wing media,
and like centrist libtards.
Yeah. So this message, which I will did I actually post? Did I actually have the message here? Well, she just basically she claimed in the message that collective bargaining is a slow process and that it would keep workers from receiving bonuses or pay increases, among other things. Which
So literally just holding that over their heads.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
just that's
unionize, we're
yeah,
gonna hold up.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just a clear intimidation tactic. So the complaint says that following these comments, workers were unable to respond to the message. They locked it. At least by
Fantastic. That's even better.
and able to reply by text. They could only communicate with emojis. Reports say that this message was met with negative emojis, which Miss Servi later acknowledged, saying, "I can hear the booing from here and have registered the disappointed dog emojis." Afterwards, though, like after this was reported, she doubled down and made a further statement that I mean, you would think, oh, if these regulatory bodies or whatever had any teeth, like this would be a stupid move, but she's in no danger here. But she says, unlike the CWA, the Communication Workers of America, the larger union that is representing, that represents the Raven Union, and they're the ones that are representing the Blizzard Albany Union. She says, unlike the CWA, we believe in open and honest discussion with employees about unionization, ensuring that team members have access to a diverse range of perspectives. Sure, your perspective is real diverse. It's the same line that every fucking corporation and executive has ever used. Real diverse talking points here. But just saying fuck CWA, they lie. They're the liars.
Yeah.
Not us. Why would we ever hurt you? You're our family.
The statement continues. The ABK
as they're taking their belt off.
Yeah.
And waving it about menacingly. So she says the ABK press channel on Slack is like a standard company newsroom, used to share updates with employees on a wide range of topics, including, in this case, independent data from Bloomberg and the U.S. Department of Labor. ABK has the right as an employer and owes it to our employees to share where we stand on these issues. Again, there are laws, but that again are incredibly weak and have been eroded for decades. That basically, no, you kind of don't have that right to.
You didn't.
Your position.
You didn't get to my favorite part yet, though.
No, I haven't, because it's like they are supposed to be barred from actually influencing workers' opinions on
either way.
Yeah, that's technically the law. They're not supposed to do that.
They're not persuading. They're just making sure they have all of the facts
from the independent third party, Bloomberg.
And it's important
noted unbiased on labor issues, Bloomberg. Yes.
Yeah. And it also noted that if they keep going this way, bonuses and increased compensation just might not happen. Like, that's an important fact to know. That's not persuasion.
If I walk into your office and say, hey, I'm offering insurance, you have a big warehouse downstairs, you make a lot of paper. It'd be really, a shame if there was a fire in your warehouse, and you were uninsured. It looks like this place, could fall apart at any minute. And as you walk out, you kick something over.
So beyond having the right
who does
as an
tactics
employer,
like that?
Beyond having the right as their
that's
employer,
freightophobia.
That's stereotyping.
I didn't say Mario was doing this. Maybe he is.
The statement continues. Employees have many Slack channels where they have expressed their own points of view as well. So we gotta, we can't stand by and let them organize. Yeah. All employees were clearly informed that they could opt out of the channel at any time. You don't have to hear our propaganda. We will not be intimidating into withholding facts from anyone on our team because of a bogus union complaint. Man,
they're not letting us tell them about how bad a union is for them. They won't let us do it.
They don't even hide their contempt anymore.
No.
Why would they? There's no repercussions for
right.
doing so.
Right. And then like we've seen with say recent stuff, like they're not going to see any pushback from the consumer either. COD is still a money making machine.
Consumer
Which
activism
Overwatch
is
2,
which-
Overwatch 2 still
falsity.
has a huge player base.
Yeah, which
despite-
we'll get to both of those. But so that there's that. We'll see. Don't expect anything to actually come from that. Despite the blatant attempts at union busting. Because like we've seen in the past that they were confirmed for the Raven Union, like they were confirmed to have been found guilty of union busting tactics.
Yeah, they're just continuing to do it.
Has
Yeah.
anything happened? No, and they
No.
continue to fucking do it because nothing
That's
happens.
why.
So they continue being shitty and shittier, and so they recently, the next story, they have failed, however, in their bid to squash the gender discrimination lawsuit filed against it
Squashing the beef.
by the state of California. So this was the suit filed in July of last year by what was formerly known as the Department of Fair Employment and Housing, which is now known as the California Civil Rights Department, or the CRD. The state court of appeal has sided with the CRD and allowed litigation to continue. The trial is set for February 2023. They just basically all it says, we're very disappointed in this development.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Because again, we don't want to be
the
held
payoff we
accountable.
gave to the judge wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Next time it'll have to be more.
Again, like think of like this is like the other major suit was like the one that they already settled last year, and it's like they had to pay like $18 million. That's fucking nothing. That's nothing to them.
Nothing.
That's going into the coin purse and grabbing two quid and dropping it on the street urchin.
Quid.
Well, you just meant we mentioned both of them. Activision and Blizzard have had 2 major releases now over the past month or so. We've got all sorts of shenanigans regarding Overwatch 2 and Call of Duty. Let's start with Overwatch 2. There is all sorts of stuff and complaints going on that too much to get into and to actually detail all the shitty monetization tactics going on. The most recent one is focusing on the high prices for packages of skins for the different heroes. But then there's also all the stuff about how all these characters that would have been open to all players from the start in the original game are now locked behind grindy mechanics that can only be like actually bypassed by purchasing the battle pass and all that shit. But Matt, what do you got to say about this one? Because I mean, in the past, in the original version, it was skins that were its only actual post game monetization. That was the stuff that you had to pay for.
In Overwatch 1, there were loot boxes, and you could buy packages of loot boxes off of your store. If you were on PC, you just did it directly through the game. If you were on console, you did it through whatever Sony or Microsoft storefront, where you could buy groupings like 1 loot box, 5 loot box, 10 loot box, 50 loot box type of deals. However, you also got loot boxes by playing games, gaining experience, winning, stuff like that kind of offset the need to I never purchased a loot box. I had every cosmetic that the game offered when I stopped playing, and I never spent a single penny on any of it. And part of that was they had to go through some loot box changes.
Yeah, that's just from having an unhealthy relationship with the game itself.
Yeah,
and just playing.
Well, there was I think it was Norway was going to ban Overwatch unless they changed how the loot boxes worked. So they partway through they changed it where you could no longer get duplicates. If there were items that you did not have, they had to be the only pool you were pulling from for each loot box.
So each one became less like gambling. It was more about you would eventually fill out the whole.
Because it essentially meant that if an event came out like Halloween Terror, which that's the event going on currently.
Right. And that's what you could get
your loot boxes there and just get the new event stuff quick and then be done.
Yeah, but that's what this
Uh,
story is about, as far as I know. It's like these current skin packages for
Halloween terror skins.
two of the new heroes. Yeah.
No, that's the because like legendary skins were always the thing that like people always hunted for out of their loot boxes. They were always like going into each event, you'd have like, ooh, like I want Junkenstein, like I want Dr. Junkenstein, or I want
I'll junk your
I want
spine.
Real thing.
Yeah.
Cthulhu Zenyatta or stuff like that. And now what they've essentially realized is like, oh, like that's what people want. So like that's where we're gonna heavily monetize the worst. And now you're getting $26 for 2 legendary skins. Like,
Wow.
that's wild.
Insane.
That's like half of the price of the original game.
Yeah, the original game sold for $50. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
that's,
sure.
That's fucking
Oh
wild.
my god.
That's
Oh my
nuts.
god.
That's crazy.
And $26
Biden's America.
would have gotten you 25 loot boxes because it would have been $25. And in 25 loot boxes, you are guaranteed to get way more than 2 legendary skins. Beyond that. Not that I'm like, ooh, loot box is good. Like that's the thing that kind of like gets lost in this whole discussion is people have been like, oh, like you want to go back to loot boxes. You want to go back to like no control over the things you're spending your money on. It's like, no, like loot boxes suck too, but they made it in a way that it was like not that bad. And you didn't have to spend money to get them.
You're already making a concession there, right? That it's not that
Yeah.
bad. So like this is
Yes.
absolutely fucking worse. Yeah. That doesn't mean I want something worse.
Yeah.
That's
It's $26 for 2 skins. And like the Halloween skins were the ones that people went the most horny over. Not to, I mean, we had like Witch
because
Mercy.
Halloween is the most horny holiday. We know this.
Yeah, like Witch Mercy was, I think, the
No,
first
Easter,
legendary
come
skin they
on.
added.
So he has risen, and so is his
And
dick.
so has
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pastels, man.
Yeah. The other funny thing I've seen was that they're selling a Pachimari keychain in real life. It's like a little onion Japanese thing.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
For less than they're selling it in the game as like a gun charm that you could hang off your weapon.
Off your real weapon.
There is a real world one that you can put on your AR-15 as you do a
As you open carry like a true American.
an FBI backed mass shooting,
Or just gun katas in your basement
Yeah.
alone.
You see, I just carry it openly on my back when I go to like Walmart or Home Depot or something like that to make sure everyone around me feels as safe as they could,
Yeah,
knowing
'cause
that
you're a
I'm
good
there
guy.
to protect them.
So this, the predatory monetization, that's nothing new. It doesn't excuse it. We know that it's bad. It's been bad. It's just getting worse. But perhaps the more disturbing story about Overwatch comes from their seeming problem with their moderation tools. They have the ability to do custom game modes.
Like, do they exist at all?
Apparently not. Apparently not.
The thing is that they kind of used to. I feel like stuff like this was heavily cut down in Overwatch 1 when they created the game mode creator.
So somehow this one got past their word filter things and didn't trigger anything. But there was a custom game mode called Sexual Assault Simulator. On brand for Activision
Oh my
Blizzard.
God.
Absolutely
Yeah, I
on
was gonna
brand.
say this didn't get moderated because someone at Activision Blizzard was like, "Oh man, finally my game mode."
Yeah, it's like, man,
I feel seen.
I'm surprised that they didn't moderate it because it's like, they thought of it first. We got to cancel
Coming
this.
from inside the house.
Yeah, so
The
we
guy
can
they
make this
named
ourselves.
Jesse McCree after.
Yeah, so I've got the thing broken down here. So the description for the mode reads is that this is a version 1.2 of the new and unique sexual harassment simulator. Find new friends, live a normal life, and give birth to a child. Yeah, live a normal life. That's totally accurate.
Normal for them.
Yeah. So when you enter the game mode, it forces one player to play as Cassidy, the new name for
Formerly Jesse McCree.
Yeah, the one named after the sex pest who was fired. So that's on purpose. So it forces one player to play as Cassidy against a team of strictly female Overwatch heroes. In the top left of the screen, it instructs you to flash to knock down your victims, which refers to that character's Overwatch 1 flashbang ability. And then says to teabag to fuck, which is written with spaces, seeming to get around the word filter. As you crouch, text appears on the top of the screen that says raping. Enemy heroes are then marked as pregnant, and eventually a Torbjorn bot is spawned to simulate a child, a little dwarf, the dwarf.
He's a little Swedish man.
Yeah. So oh my god, this shit is so fucked up. Burn that whole thing to the ground.
All of it.
You know what the crazy part about that is to me? These types of people are sick enough to know how to get around the word filter. So they've been doing this long enough to like test run through like all the different ways to get around the filter.
Yeah, they're just like spending so much time trying to do this. It's really wild.
Dude, just go to fucking your preferred
Deranged.
porn hosting site, type in your preferred female Overwatch hero. There will be 27 pages of porn.
President G, come save us and limit our video game time.
Yeah. That would cut down on our other problem too about there being too many games.
Yeah.
Take away the internet.
Yeah.
And we
we
get
need.
public transportation out of it. Like,
Yeah.
win-win.
High-speed rail. Let's do it.
yeah. Come here, President G. Come take us.
So let's not give that story any more time and airtime because fuck that guy, whoever, because it's absolutely a guy who is behind it. and
You
fuck
don't know that.
and fuck the people like at in the whoever is in charge of the moderation shit that are that stupid
for
and
real.
that that was even able to take place. All right, so we mentioned it, the latest release though, because Overwatch has been on the market for
A month.
or so at this point, and it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. But there is the latest release, just had its full release the day before recording here. But the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has released. Its campaign was available.
Years.
Yeah, it was available for early for those who pre-ordered, so we were getting a whole lot of stuff. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about that campaign. We've seen some really interesting things coming out. We're doing the real war crime simulation machine is out and available.
It's basically real time at this point.
Yeah, I mean the gap between when the U.S. commits its actual war crime and it's now depicted in COD, the gap is getting closer and closer. So we said this I think on stream, to the point where they're going to start predicting and doing the war crimes. Giving.
No, you're just going to be controlling
the
what you think is a
military-industrial
video
complex,
game, but it's actually a
real
drone that you're killing people in real life with.
Yeah, but it has shit like you're blowing up schools with a drone. You're doing the assassination of I forget his first name, but of Soleimani, the Iranian general. It's like you're doing war crimes, assassinating a foreign state leader. Yeah, but he's conveniently named Gobrani.
Jabroni?
Yeah, more like Jabroni. Yeah, you're doing things like you're on like this one was fucked up. They're supposedly meant to be like cartel people, but like the imagery is clear. You're as like a Mexican special forces operative, you are gunning down people who are hopping the border, the US Mexico border. You're gunning them down as they're doing that. There's a character who is it's you kill a quote unquote terrorist who his like wife, who is clearly a non-combatant, is like cowering in the bathroom over his dead body, and defensively grabs his weapon to try to defend herself and hide in a corner, and the only way to progress through the level is to kill her. There's a bit where you're back on the border. You're dealing with some angry and armed US citizens.
I'm just glad they've kept politics out of this.
Yeah, yes. Noted non-political games, Call of Duty. You've got to. There are some civilians who are fucking with you, and are threatening you, and you are told to de-escalate the situation. And what that translates to is pointing your gun at them.
Separate their head from their sternum.
Yeah, that's what de-escalation means. So at least they're being accurate. I guess at least we could say at this point they've turned it into they're based by showing how fucked up and showing the real the real nature of police, our police state and the military industrial complex. But
one of the MAGA
I'm being ironic here. I'm being ironic here.
but one of like the MAGA communist YouTubers is gonna like come out with some sort of position on that. That's exactly that point.
I mean, even some of the reviewers have been saying it's like, yes, it's like maybe a little bit better than some of the other ones in showing and not showing that, or actively trying to make some point of view that these like that the the U.S. military industrial complex and special operatives aren't like these clear-cut heroes, and that there's lots of shit going on, but it's still just
it's lost on their audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Even I
Just
think
wait
it's
for the
giving
Eddie Gallagher DLC.
Yeah, I think it's giving him way too much credit to say that that's actually that they're actually putting in some anti-war message, because it's still about like, you got to do all these things in order to progress the game, and like, isn't it fun and cool to use all these guns to do war crimes?
I think
there's definitely not a true anti-war message to.
I think it's Spec Ops: The Line might be. Don't hold me to that. There's a game that basically plays like a typical COD first-person shooter, but then like the ending is essentially dictated based on like how bad the war crimes were you committed, and you basically have to like reconcile with the fact that like your credit scene is like the burned corpses of the people in the village you napalmed and stuff like that. And, like, not happy endings unless you choose
more
not
accountability than in the real world.
Yeah, but like that's why I think it's obvious that this isn't like, there is still not a real anti-war message here, because none of like the Call of Duty characters aren't gonna.
I mean, how much money does Activision Blizzard get from the likes of Raytheon and such?
Oh, I'm sure they get tons of money from the government, and
and there's probably
how much personal information and because like you have to give your cell phone number and stuff like that. How much of that goes to government recruiters for the military?
Just sent to the
based on like the amount of slurs you use in a lobby, and
like you're not going to let us recruit on Twitch anymore. We'll find another way.
They'll always find a way.
I mean, dog, they always got a promoted ad on Reddit.
But now
looking for the Reddit incels.
Now that the full game and the multiplayer have released, there's now a very depoliticized controversy going around. Some people are decrying the game's skill-based matchmaking.
Fucking whiners.
Dude, I don't get this. I don't get this at all.
Matt, your former boy Tim the Tatman was the one who's like at the center of this controversy. He's like, because of the skill-based matchmaking, like
you want to know what
I won't stream it. He's like, because I'm just getting bodied.
Yeah, they want to play against people so much worse than them that they can feel like the best player in the world, and everyone sucks.
Yeah,
because they don't want to play against people in a similar bracket to them. And this is the funny part, because sometimes they don't like to realize that they're bad players. Yeah. It's like when you're playing against a team, you're like, oh, he fell off the map like 3 times. It's like, oh, wait, I'm in this bracket.
I mean, people were saying like, oh, like, but like, Halo 2 and the like, never had skill-based matchmaking, and that was still fun, and you could, even if you're, on the losing end, you're still having fun.
That was like back in what, 2007?
Right. I think it was 2006.
Close though. But I think it's, I think it's funny. I mean, I'm not a multiplayer.
I feel like multiplayer idiots, sorry, they always have a complaint about the matchmaking.
Well, yeah. So you have to understand there's a hierarchy with multiplayer players.
Of idiots.
I need a better term for that. A hierarchy of excuses for why they lost. Cheating.
Yeah.
Bad connection.
Yeah. Lag. I'm lag. I got lag.
Like, it is never I suck or I played bad. It is always something else's. Like, I had a coworker who played COD religiously, and it would literally be every day I would come in and he'd be telling me a 30-minute story about how some guy was aimbotting through a wall and he could never win. And
you're a saint for listening to that story.
Just can't cope with the fact that he's
Cube. I could not.
Yeah, just can't cope with the fact that he's old now, and like, just the reflexes of the the zoomers are faster than than his. So
Yeah, you're trying to compete with a cracked out Zoomer who's mainlining fucking 7 types of jewels.
And
Jules and G
Mountain
Fuel.
Dew. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
G Fuel, that was it.
Yeah,
Just
straight up G
smoking
Fuel,
lead
not even
and
mixed,
drinking lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the difference between me and real gamers is when I'm bad, I'm like, I fucking suck at video games.
Yeah, not that the world is out to get me.
Oh, you always have to blame
persecution
everything
complex.
else
Except
first.
when you're playing against the friend, then it's obviously the friend was cheating or like that. That's fair.
I
When
think
you're
my
a
favorite
couch
would always be
multiplayer,
You're screen looking.
yeah.
Yeah.
my favorite
You're right-
complaint
you're
was
right
always
about
no regs. It was like, no, dude, I totally hit the head there and I didn't get a fucking register. Like, didn't register my headshot.
Although
That
you're
must
seeing
be
an
the-
you're
again,
seeing in
not to-
Overwatch that actually was documented as happening. Is that the hitboxes were absolutely broken. You'd like be
Yes.
shooting
However-
in between the legs and you'd get a headshot kill.
However, again, to bring it back to him, Tim the Tap Man was a noted complainer about everything in matchmaking that whenever he lost. It was always, oh, someone on my team is throwing. Oh, someone on the other team is botting. Someone on the skill-based matchmaking is putting me in with diamond players, even though I'm a GM. It's like, Tim, you're a GM because you play with GM players, not because you're a GM player.
Yeah, just realize that that you don't actually like these games, right?
Yes.
Just come to the realization that you don't actually like
Go-
these games and play
go
something
out-
else that you might actually like.
Go out to the farm sim upstate and retire.
Yeah. It's such a weird thing. Like we've talked about it and joked about it before, but it's like, yeah, there's it's a real thing that people like will only play the one game. It's like sometimes it's the reality is that it's all they can have time or the money to get into and to to stick with. But it's like that they come back from their back-breaking and mind-crushing job to play hours of a game that just makes them absolutely insanely angry.
At least I'm playing Pokemon. I'm just playing baby games,
Yeah.
or Assassin's Creed, and just
At
going
least
around
for a
killing
majority of
things.
my Overwatch career, I was winning and not losing.
Too special.
Just a
The man who
humble
climbed the
flex.
ladder.
So I actually kind of lost track of what our time is at now, but we do have one little
About an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can get this discussion in 10 or so minutes. Big tech is shitting the bed big time. All across the board. I saw a piece the other day that Meta has lost somewhere near 700 billion.
700 billion.
That's
Meta's wiped out their gains from it was 2017, I think, in terms of stock value.
It's incredible. So I mean, that's just a little one. That's just again for some perspective.
It's just a pinch.
Microsoft announced that its profits are down 14% in total, claiming inflation, post-pandemic slide. All these are seen as factors leading to lower PC
I
sales.
love when I get blamed for their problems.
Can I just this is my take on this. You're losing fucking profits because you're jacking your prices up, claiming inflation and just fucking price gouging across the economy, not just, video game
absolutely.
makers or
all
whatever.
these things are
then
all
just
these
blaming it
issues
on
are
inflation. It's fucking
all
crazy.
these things are artificially created. Say like
Dude,
inflation
my-
is a process like that has been created by the choices of corporations.
Yeah, this is just a quick side, but this midterm cycle, election cycle.
I'm
has
pretty
just
sure
been
Brandon
breaking
himself decides inflation.
Yeah,
He presses
been-
the button. He presses the
it's been
inflation
breaking
button.
my brain
it's
that
time
the
to inflate,
economy
Jack.
and inflation are the number one topic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So,
because
record
the things that
corporate
directly affect
profits.
people are going to be the things that people vote for. And that's how you mobilize a bunch of people, is you just talk about how they're not getting, how their money isn't going as far as it did a year ago.
How Brandon's just fucking you.
How Brandon every day wakes up, goes over to the inflation button and gives it an elbow jab and then 2 thumbs up.
So Microsoft is suffering because lower PC sales, hit to Microsoft's profits. But there's been some now contradictory statements coming from Daddy Phil Spencer. He has made the contentious claim that video games are somewhat resilient to economic weakness. A claim that is being disputed by many analysts as not being true.
Yeah.
What
Because it's not.
there's like it's like cinema, and I forget there's one other one that is largely understood to be
The marker of a recession.
no, just recession proof. There are very few things that are actually recession proof. There's some things it's like, yeah, because like the people will still go see movies because
booze.
Yeah, it's because their life sucks, and it's just like I need to escape reality, and
it's vices. It's vices. Gambling and booze often continue to do well.
But all this stuff is then contradicted. Like, so it's like the day later, he also said that Xbox price hikes are probably coming, but
after
the holidays, he's given us that. And so, yeah, so much for Game Pass's already struggling value proposition is what
after the holidays is trying to poke people to be like, if you want to buy them cheap, buy them now for the holidays.
But it's like, yeah, so that's true for the console for your one-time purchase at the time. But this is also going to hit Game Pass. He's saying that it's going to hit subscription things as well.
Better fucking not.
And anyone with a brand new Game Pass's price is going up.
Yeah, he particularly with this next bit of news that they have for the second year in a row, despite making billions, and taking it something like 17% of their overall profit.
Yeah.
You guys discussed that in an earlier episode, the one that I wasn't here. But that despite all that, Game Pass has failed to hit its subscriber goal for the second year in a row. Their
growth goal is fucking insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
73% growth rate was their target number, and they only hit 28%, which they say it's because they've largely kind of saturated the
plateaued on the console market.
Yeah, it's that and they've basically got anybody who has a console who is remotely interested in it probably already has.
That's also them essentially making the statement that the people who are buying it, like looking at it from a wider perspective, they're basically saying that the only people who are buying Xbox consoles had Xbox consoles, so they already have Game Pass.
Yeah. So Phil Spencer it was this kind of wide-ranging interview. He framed Game Pass as profitable but limited, that it accounts for anywhere from 10 to 15% of the company's overall content and service revenue, which includes gaming, and that's Microsoft as a whole.
That's a big percentage.
So yeah, Daddy Phil is just making all sorts of wild.
But Phil said he would never raise the prices. He said it just as recently as September. Yeah, he would never lie to me. He's my friend.
And this is going to be a ad-supported model version that it'll be the same subscription price. So
I can't wait for ads while I'm gaming.
The Daddy Phil would never lied to us is why I know that you having to have everything on Steam had to be OCD, because I know that you would not believe that Steam is actually going to, in the end, give you access to all your games.
I just trust Steam storefront more than the other ones because it's been around longer.
Yeah.
And that's the one I've used the longest. But like the Daddy Phil stuff just like wild to me. Because there are people who take everything he says at face value and just gulp it down.
And it's clear that one, that they have contempt for the console base. It's to be like you fucking scum, you slime of the earth. You have never supported us to the level that we need on our consoles. So we're just going to fucking abandon.
We'll make you games and you don't support us enough.
Yeah. So fuck you. You're not going to get any more consoles ever again. We're just going streaming. We're just doing mobile games, because in that same interview, he's saying like that the Activision deal is all about, it's not about COD, it's about mobile. He's like, basically, it's like, it makes them so mad. There's like, when you think of 3 billion gamers playing mobile things that like we're just not tapping into, like that we've got like a, paltry like 200 million or something, on console, and that's it. Those numbers are there's an incredibly wide margin between 200 million and 3 billion. So it's like that's where we're going. Like they're basically saying it's like, no, we want to make fewer and worse games. So give us your money.
I mean, they've basically been doing that for the past 5 years anyway.
They're not putting out games. That's their other. That's the other thing that's saying like why
We're gonna put out
Game
fewer
Pass is
games.
not-
You
it's not
can't.
hitting.
You literally can't.
Wait,
you
And
put out
speaking of
0.
that-
You can't put out negative games.
you
You're just taking
can't.
games away from me now.
Oh, you
But
guys don't
wait,
like Halo Infinite? It's gone.
It never existed.
Bye. Goodbye. Wait a minute, though. Starfield's supposed to be out in less than a month. I haven't seen any sort of fucking marketing on that.
There's
What?
no
Less than a
firm
month?
date. There's no firm date yet.
There isn't?
No, it's 2023.
No, that's in the summer. Summer, spring 2023.
I don't even know that there's that. I don't even know
right,
that it's
I
that.
forgot
I've
that.
heard early 2023. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, never mind.
No, there's no firm date for that.
I'm a dummy.
Redfall is the one that's closer, and I think Redfall is March.
Yeah, but
Okay.
still nothing. There is no date for either of those. Yeah, we've seen they've been radio silent since.
Putting out fewer
Since
games. So
those-
Starfield's coming out, right? Padme meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like so that's just a big reason why they're just saying like Game Pass is not meeting its goal because people are calling bullshit on their already tenuous value proposition.
I still want to
And
know
if they
that-
up the
that
price.
goal-
If they up that price though, it's just like to me, it's just like that's unconscionable. It's like you're already not
Well,
it's already not.
how
worth
much
it.
of that goal is free stuff they gave away? How much of that goal is 3 months for $1? I'm starting like
Yeah, I mean we know from filing data that it is still making money. They are not losing
absolutely.
money on.
I
it.
just think that they
They
they're
purposefully
very
don't
good.
release
Microsoft-
numbers on how
Yeah.
many subscribers though.
Yeah, Microsoft is very good at manipulating how they say things.
That's what like Phil is being praised for. It's like there was a piece that I sent earlier today, and we're running out of time, and I don't want to like look through the whole thing again, but it's just saying like, oh, he's being very savvy in the way he's contextualizing the gaming business, to make it look like that they're they are, and we've talked about it's like in their whole self-negging kind of look at it that rather than being
We
like
don't know how to do anything
basically
right.
one, if not the largest, one of the largest tech companies in the world, that they are the underdog in terms of the gaming sphere, that they have no presence in mobile, which is the fastest growing and most profitable. Sony has a larger install base than us. We don't make as good games or as many games. as they do.
I do like how he spins the fact that their previous console generation was such a step backwards from the Xbox 360 that's now a good thing for them.
Yeah.
It's like we lost so many users. Like we don't know what we're doing.
Look how bad we fucked it up.
All right. So any final thoughts before we do plugs and get out of here?
Fuck Phil Spencer.
I mean, fuck them all. They're all fucking all these companies.
No, I'm a Sony pony. I only hate Phil Spencer.
Say Jim Ryan is also equally ghoulish.
Nope, Jim Ryan went to
Gabagool?
Brussels.
Yeah, he is definitely a gabagool.
And everyone knows that Masahiro Nintendo himself would never get tied down in shit like this. I love that Nintendo's just kind of been silent the whole time.
They don't. 'Cause we've always talked about this. They don't have to.
They don't use COD.
They simply don't need to be. That's the one thing that. Speaking of Nintendo and Call of Duty, though, it's like in this interview they're saying like we're treating Call of Duty like Minecraft. We're not. It's against our interest to limit it to only one place. We'd love to see Call of Duty on Switch. I would love to see how that runs. I too would love to see Call of Duty on Switch.
I think before Starfield got moved, there was a meme going around of like it was the Godzilla and King Kong like fighting on the battleship of God of War and Starfield,
and Ken Watanabe.
And then it was the Doge bonking in, and it was Nintendo with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Okay, I didn't see that.
It was like gonna sell more than both.
Let's say for me, it's the Phil Spencer. It's the Phil Spencer Jim Ryan, battling and just
duking it out, and Nintendo
or no, in this case it's us as Ken Watanabe. Just let them fight. Yes, let them fight. All right,
Nintendo's
folks.
just chilling on the sideline, like, oh, I guess we'll just keep releasing. Like, oh, here's Mario Rabbids, here's Bayonetta, here's Xenoblade. Like, we'll just keep releasing games.
It pains me to say it, man. The rare
start and end it. Start and end the pod.
Yeah, it's the rare Ubisoft W. Like, they are losing money too. That was the one thing that we had. That was if we had time, and we don't have time, but we do love to see that they're losing money. Hopefully they.
I mean, it's an Ubisoft W because Nintendo saved them from themselves.
Yeah. From what I understand, though, it's like what is it? It's like Ubisoft Milan or something. It's like one of their actually good studios. All the French ones, get rid of them.
It's the Italians, so much better. Actually, fuck Northern Italy, fuck Milan. Anyways, I'm Southern Italian.
Sicily will rise again.
Yeah. All right.
Naples, the Kingdom of Naples.
Plug time. Follow us at Twitch, or follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/campaign comrades. Follow us on Twitter at CamComPod. We're trying to be more active on Twitter. It's tough. It's hard. I've got say
Twitter is a scary place. Right
even
now,
me,
man.
who has the most time, it's like literally a full-time job. Trying to like stay up to date.
We need a social media intern that we pay in like TikTok views or something.
Yeah. But yeah, so
pay them in exposure.
But we will see you later. We'd love to see you come join our Uncut Comrade streams on Tuesdays, where we talk about all the stuff that didn't make the cut for the pod. We'd love to start a more engaging conversation with you, the listeners. So come on by. We'd love to have you. But till then, good night and good gaming. We love you. Mwah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.